Today I'm going to show you the secret Dawless weapon that I've been working on, a super tiny computer. You see, I love the gear that I have, and I can do a lot with it. But then I read on Reddit that someone was using their Linux computer to run Windows VSTs and somehow implemented all of that in their Dawless setup. So of course they got me thinking, what can I do with that? Spoiler alert, a lot. You can do a lot. And yes, I know that the whole concept of Dawless is avoid using computers. After all, we're all tired of using computers through most of our days in our jobs. So we want to go home and just use gear without the need of an actual computer, without looking at a screen, right? Trust me, that's something that I want as well. And I made it a condition for the whole setup that I have going on right now. Now, you may be thinking, what's the point of this? My gear already does everything that I need. This device will not replace anything that you have in your setup. It will expand it. I wanted to enhance the way that I jam Dawless, have some of the flexibility that a computer allows, you know? And with a tiny computer, you can set up a USB host, so any MIDI controls that you have there that are only USB, you can now use them with external gear. Control and sequence soft synths using your external gear, like for example a Digitakt or anything else that you have there. And apply software effects to the sound that is coming from your Dawless gear, all on the fly. And the condition is that this can be done headless, meaning I won't need a screen, I won't need a keyboard or a mouse to do any of this. It should be like any other piece of Dawless gear. You boot it up and it just works. Now, this doesn't take into account the setup of said device, just means that while I'm jamming, I won't need the screen, I won't need to work on a computer, basically. So let me show you some actual examples. All right, so here in this first example, I have my tiny computer connected to an old MIDI controller that I have. It's the Korg Nano Control. This is so 2010, and it's only USB. It's USB MIDI only, doesn't have like an actual MIDI port. And I wanted to use it with my Dawless gear. I actually have two of these. I never use them because it's not really, I don't really need them just to control Ableton, for example, but they would be useful to control my Dawless gear, for example. And so for that, I'm using the tiny computer. Like I said, I'm also using my Zoom LiveTrack L6 to kind of spread the MIDI around. I've already configured Ableton in order to be correctly set up in order to kind of transmit all of these messages. And so if I press play here, we hear a beat, right? And so the controller here is set up to control the volume of each of the 8 audio tracks on the Digitakt, and also the delay send. So the knobs are handling the delay sends, right? So each one of the tracks can be sent, you know, I can control the delay send for all of them. And I can also control the volume, and also I can control the mutes. The mutes will be these buttons that I'm pointing on right here, right? So if I want to mute a part, I can do that as well. So for example, I can already hear a beat, and if I move this fader, now you hear the snare, right? Pretty cool, right? And if I push this up, this faders up, you start hearing more elements. So hats, some weird percussion. These sounds are actually part of my PO32 Sample Pack, which I've released for free a few months ago. So I put a link in the description in case you want to check them out. Anyway, I'll just keep on going and push all of these up. There you go. Nice beat, right? And if I want to send one of these to the delay, control everything, you know? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can also control the feedback of the delay by going here. Let me see if I don't screw this up. Okay, so you can already imagine the possibilities. I mean, if you have old USB controllers at your in your home that are just gathering dust, I know that the USB host costs something like 20, but this is so much more usable and configurable, you know, customizable. For example, this particular control that I'm using, the Nano control, each of the rows that you see here, they can be assigned to a particular MIDI channel, right? And I can control a lot of things on the Digitakt, for example, but also on other devices at the same time. And I have two, so that kind of doubles the things that I can control. And this controller also has scenes, and each scene can have a different setup. So, you know, it's bonkers. A Fader Fox thing costs what? Like 600 euros or something like that? I know it has a screen, but the things that you see here, it costs like a total of 400, because it's 300 for the live track, 100 for the computer, and this, I don't know, like 20 bucks secondhand, whatever. So you don't really need the LiveTrack L6 in order to do this. Other devices that have like USB MIDI should be good to go. The way that you configure it will vary, but it'll work. I just think that this is super, super cool. Now, in this next example, I'm going to show you that you can actually sequence a soft synth, right? Any soft synth. For example, here I'm using the Meld, the instrument in Ableton Live, and I'm using the Digitakt to sequence Meld just like it was a physical instrument. You want to see how that sounds? Let me show you. And how cool is that? So as you can see here, I'm sequencing melds on Ableton Live using Digitakt. And I even have some parameters like some MIDI CC parameters that I'm controlling in live using the Digitakt. It's actually super easy to set this all up. I thought it would be much more complicated. I won't go at length here because it's really technical babble. And if you want, I can do it on a separate video. But just know that, yeah, I can do it. It's really easy. There's no latency. You can even add effects. Could have been a better transition, but you know, I'm doing this live. So as you can see, it's great. The CPU right now, it's like 5%, and it's amazing. It's honestly, I thought there would be problems with latency. I thought that there would be other problems in terms of sound quality or whatever, and it's great. I just love it. I have like a weird situation here because in order to record what you're hearing right now, I have to run the inputs from the Digitakt back to the live track and then back on it again so you can listen to it. And I think it's causing some pops, but earlier it wasn't. I tried this earlier and it wasn't happening. So I think it's just the way that I have it set up right now, so you can actually hear it. But yeah, like I am completely amazed by how good this works. Because imagine you have 8 MIDI tracks on the Digitakt. So in theory, You can have like 8 different instruments in Ableton, and either internal Ableton synths or drum machines or external plugins, anything. And it's like you can add whatever effects that you want, and you can control them using MIDI in the Digitakt itself. You can use the Digitakt sequencer to influence this, and the LFOs and everything. Imagine the possibility. This is insane. Okay, I get really, really excited about this, but it's just time to move on to the next example, right? For the final example, what I'm going to do is take the audio coming from the different devices that I have here, from my Digitone, the Digitakt, Circuit Rhythm, and the tracks. And what I'm going to do is run them through Ableton, run some effects, and then send them right out using the Live Track L6 output, right? So I'm recording right now, and what you should be hearing is the audio coming from this and having the effects applied. So now, if I press play here, so remember, all of the audio that you see here, or that you listen here, is coming from these different devices. There's no real audio coming from Ableton itself. It's just processing the audio that is coming from here, right? I don't have a MIDI controller right now set up to control the effects in Ableton, so I'll do everything by using a mouse. But just imagine that I have a MIDI controller here and that I'm using it to control different parameters, or even the devices that I have here, since we already saw that it's possible, right? So for example, I can have an auto filter applied to the whole thing. Pretty cool. And you'll notice that I also have mix gel. So it's a preset for a compressor running on the master. So it just gives you that cohesion, that glue in overall mix. And remember, this is something that it's quite hard, not quite hard to do with just Dawless devices. But usually effects processing units, they're either very expensive or they're very limited, you know? And so for $100, and another device that can that allows you to run the audio in, you can have the same thing, right? So imagine the savings is what I'm saying. And so like I was saying, in the main, I have the auto filter and the mix gel. And for example, on channel 3, which is where I'm running the audio that is coming from the tracks and the rhythm together, I also have a compressor to kind of, link or mash the bass that is coming from the circuit tracks with the drums that are coming from the circuit rhythm together, right? And I also have a saturator just to give it a little bit of warmth, right? And on the Digitakt, I don't have anything as of now, but for example, I could very well just go to the audio effects and add an auto filter as well. That would work right away. Notice that there's no latency. It's direct, and this is amazing. I thought that it would be like a little bit of latency. I was afraid that it would be noticeable, but at least with the setup that I have right now, and it's not taking much of the PC resources. Right now it's like 4% on the CPU. It's working just fine, right? But this can be adjusted if it causes you any issues. If you're okay with some kind of a little bit of latency, that's also tweakable. But as of now, it's really good. So like I said, can add an auto filter, deactivate that. What else? You could have like EQs for all of the tracks that you have. Remember that I'm using the Live Track L6, and that has 6 different inputs and 2 mono and 4 of them stereo. It's where I'm running everything there. So I could very well have an EQ on all of these just to be able to control everything on the fly and easily, right? I can adjust everything, make for a better mix, right? Let me just delete this. But I could have something else. Like, for example, where's the vinyl? Where's the vinyl thing? Where's the vinyl distortion? Yeah, for example. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just a little bit. Maybe too much. Yeah, with some crackles. That's it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. If this doesn't get your mind racing and kind of popping off with ideas, I don't know what will, because this is basically endless possibilities with this thing right here. That makes me really excited to be able to just use this in a way that I really, really want, and not having to spend a whole lot of money for that. It's like, it's great. It's just great. Remember that I'm using this. Okay, here I have a screen just so I can show the examples better. But I actually have Ableton running automatically when it starts with the default template. And that default template, it just goes up and everything just works. I don't need a screen. I don't need a mouse or a keyboard. I don't need anything. I just need this. And you can hide it in your setup and just use it. Treat it like any other device that you have, any other Dawless device. I have some plans for this, for the future. Some exciting plans. Maybe a touch screen, maybe something that involves VCV rack, maybe loopers. I don't know. I have so many ideas in my mind that I just can't contain myself. But yeah, I think that this will be it for now. I hope that I gave you some food for thought. If you have any sort of ideas or questions, let me know in the comments. But for now, this is it for me. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And as always, just keep jamming, keep having fun. Have a good one, guys. Of course, I'm fucking up the time.